Good morning. This is the pre-market for Monday, March 10th. We are still seeing sustained selling pressure. We have not seen a 4-hour trend change on ES or S&P yet, and that is our biggest indicator that things are shifting. So we got a bit of a bounce on Friday, and that's all it was. It was a bounce, and we are still seeing sustained selling pressure as futures are opening up. That is the most important thing to just know that things are shifting on the S&P 500 or ES is when this 4-hour trend changes. So we had enough space now for a 4-hour higher low, but we need to put that in. We've made a big pullback now that we would most likely see a lower high on the way back up. But that is what we need to do to start to change the 4-hour or the weekly trend. If we want to see a weekly bottom, because this is just a straight flush down, we need to change the 4-hour trend. And that is step one into setting the weekly higher low. And then we would see where we lose the 4-hour trend, which could be where we put in a weekly lower high, or if 4-hour overbought ends up being setting our lower high. So those are the things I'll be looking at when they happen, but they're not happening yet. We're still in our sell-off as far as I'm concerned. This 4-hour 12 EMA has been a lot of problem for us and been guiding us down. And yeah, so that's where I'm looking. NASDAQ obviously is our weakest one because of the semiconductors. Semiconductors are the weakest sector, but they were the ones that guided us up the whole way. So until semiconductors really can turn this around, I'm expecting us to keep getting pulled back. All right, so yeah, NASDAQ still looking for its 4-hour trend change. Almost got it there. But yeah, same thing, just pinned underneath this 12 EMA. We had made enough room to make a 4-hour higher low at this point, but we've given a lot of this back. So now on a bounce, I would be expecting a 4-hour lower high. The Dow, yeah, same thing. We made enough room for a 4-hour higher low, but now we've given a lot of that back that we would just see a 4-hour lower high on the way back up. And I would expect tightening ranges, and maybe that is what shows us that we are switching around as we see a 4-hour tightening range, and then we break upwards. Or this could easily just drop. We could also see this as a bear flag, a daily bear flag, and just into a straight drop down. All right, so semiconductors. Yeah, you can see this 4-hour EMA is absolutely guiding us down pretty easily. So getting over that and staying over that it will be our guide, I believe, to the next. What happens next? We made enough room here that we can see a inverse head and shoulders. Just put the top of there. It's still a potential, but we could easily just drop into a new low at this point. So Meta saw a pretty decent bounce on Friday, but nothing changes until we can change that 4-hour trend. And I'm pretty much guessing that's going to be for everything, or for all these names. Tesla, where are we getting here? That's getting pretty exciting for a potential bounce. Yeah, so this is the zone, definitely a zone I would be looking for a decent sized bounce in. We closed this gap now, so that gap's off the table. Now we have another gap here from 238.88 to 218. And the way this is moving, it looks very likely that we want to close these gaps. And I'm going to be looking for that. Well, we have another one way down here too. Tesla's just full of gaps. And yeah, we are daily oversold now. Watching these names for daily oversold to make longer term entries as far as or longer dated calls. So yeah, we are daily oversold on Tesla, and we are due for a weekly bounce. Pltr, so far we are going to be in a double weekly inside bar. There's this huge volume for sure. So I'm not quite sure Pltr is going to be done with its selling yet. I'm interested around this 63 level. Whether we hold it or we break it, I would be interested. It's also going to be catching up with the 200 moving average. And then we would just be looking for a head and shoulders at this point. If we do bounce here, we would still be looking for that head and shoulders on the weekly. And that's all it is at this point. Apple, still very choppy. We're just kind of in a wonky equilibrium here. If we go to the 1 week, yeah, still looks a bit choppy. Monthly inside bar anyways. We're in a double monthly inside bar, and the break of that will kind of give us our short-term direction. We're still being held up by the monthly 12 EMA. Oh, and that as well with SPY. I was looking at these previous pullbacks. So this is comparable to the pullback we had in September 23. But yeah, we're still holding the monthly 12 EMA on S&P 500, and that is the most important thing that we do hold. If we do go a little bit, if we do end up going a little bit under it, that we just close above it ideally. We don't want to see it close below it. That did happen here, but it just did get right back up immediately the next month. And so yeah, we're still like, this is still very healthy, constructive consolidation at this point. I'm not worrying about anything yet. Should be a buying opportunity as far as I'm concerned. Obviously, it's a little bit tough to hold through. Okay, so IBM, I did not see this. Well, we're still in head and shoulders potential here, but we've made a lot of room for a higher low now. That was a fake out. So when this bounced and made that right shoulder, it faked out and shot immediately upwards. So that's a good sign that we're holding up good. This is just a bounce so far though. Like, this was 4 hours straight up, and we need to change the trends. We haven't changed an hourly trend yet, so that is technically a bounce. We need to break the high of Friday now. Google, still in a bear flag here. I would call that a weekly bear flag. Maybe a 2-day bear flag then. But yeah, we're being held down by the daily 12 EMA. Caution that this is just a bounce, and you should be definitely more concerned about more downside here. We're potentially setting up for a monthly head and shoulders here. And we're just still trying to form the head, and we still don't have a defined neckline. Need to if we see a break of the high of last week, then I would maybe call that my neckline, and that's where we would need to hold. But it looks like we're opening on the low end of Friday in the middle of next week. So I could expect possibly an inside week. We'll see. Amazon, still elevated volume. No sign of the bulls yet. Change the 4-hour trend. All right, I'm going to go to... Oh, wait. Let's see what Baba's doing. Okay, Baba had a bit of strength overall. But yeah, now we've changed the 4-hour trend back to the bears now. And that could be a caution that we are setting a weekly lower high there. 1453. Well, I guess we did break out on this week, but if that's a weekly bull flag with no follow through and we're already changing the trend back to the bears, I caution that on Baba that this could have topped out here. We don't want to lose the low of last week. Otherwise, that's a daily bull flag with a lack of follow through and right into a trend change. So that's kind of what I'm seeing here now. AMD, still very weak. Always been weak. We're in a monthly downtrend. Nothing changes. Need to see a monthly bounce. We'll see if this 93.12 level holds. We're right there. 95.83, yeah. We're just at it now. We need to hold that level. Otherwise, yeah, I mean... then we're in a quarterly head and shoulders. So AMD doesn't look that good. It hasn't for a long time anyways, but change the 4-hour trend. Last time we did was over here, February, and it wasn't a convincing one. It's dropped right into new lows. All right, yeah, I'm going to go through crypto now. So Bitcoin dominance, I haven't gone over this in a couple days now. We are still in this daily equilibrium. Now we've lost the daily equilibrium. Now our main level to hold is that low, 78,179. But we're just setting daily higher lows at this point. So any daily bounce, we're focusing on this is the high that we have to break above, and any bounce I would just be expecting a lower high at this point, and just breaking this pattern is just a big caution. Where could we be looking at? I'm still looking at this 73,000. This is to 70 to 73,000. I don't want to lose 70,000 essentially. So this level here, this range, I would be interested in. We did hit daily oversold, and if we lose that, then that is kind of a red flag that the daily oversold isn't setting the monthly higher low. But if we see another leg down, then we would have bullish divergence on the RSI, and I'd be actually inclined to buy that. So that would be around this $73,000 to $70,000 range. I would be interested in buying and playing a bounce, and I'd have to see I want to see a weekly bounce at that point. And if we see that weekly, if we keep flushing down, and then we end up seeing a weekly bounce from down here, and then I see the 4-hour trend change or something, I would make sure I'm out. I would be trying to get risk-free in this bounce, but if that doesn't happen, then I would have to cut my position. But yeah, just waiting for a weekly bounce at this point. This was a huge leg down here last week, down 14.5% last week. So that is my range. And then we have this previous top here. So 70,000. This was 69. 69,000. Yeah, so 69,000 actually I think is my kind of line in the sand. That's what I want to see. That is a huge range and a lot of volume traded around here. So that's where I'll get very interested. And that might be where the regular stock market's around the same time where it bottoms out as well. Ethereum needs to see a 4-hour trend change. It's already at the lows. It didn't get much of an equilibrium here. We just hit the 0.5 and heading back down. So being guided down by this daily 12 EMA. Ethereum is weak. XRP, we still have this. Oh, we lost our equilibrium here. So now we're looking back down at this level, 195 and 177 levels. And we'll watch to see if the 12 EMA guides us down there too. As far as the weekly goes, we're in a weekly equilibrium. We're still looking for that weekly higher low though. So if we do lose 177, that's confirming our weekly downtrend for the first time in a while. On XRP, we haven't been in a weekly downtrend. I mean, maybe that little pivot would be one right before this giant move, but it puts us at risk for more downside for sure. Still a monthly inside bar. Litecoin, it's a mess now. Now we're just watching. We keep making daily lower highs now. So now this is our pivot. We need to change the 4-hour trends first, obviously, and then get our daily trend back. We're just in a 4-hour bear flag right now. The 4-hour 12 EMA is guiding us down. Change the 4-hour trend. This isn't much of a bounce yet. We need a bigger bounce than this to see a 4-hour higher low. Yeah, this was one of the weak or stronger names, and then after the news came out, it didn't really bounce with everything else. So it kind of just caught up with everything else, and I know there's worse names out there, but we're still holding the panic low for Litecoin. But yeah, we've given a lot of that back now, so that's unfortunate. And now we have a huge resistance. But yeah, we're in this giant equilibrium here for the weekly. Yeah. Lower high, higher low, lower high, higher, looking for this higher low. So set the 4-hour, need to see a 4-hour trend change to kind of give us some indicator that we are trying to put in that weekly higher low. Hype. Now we're just fading this whole move. And we are looking down at this last support here at $12.10, and then we're looking at all-time lows. But this is not what you want to see. Weekly trend change. We need to see a 4-hour. We need to see a 4-hour trend change to give us the kind of indicator that we might be changing the week or seeing a weekly bounce. BNB, one of the stronger names for sure, relative to its recent high, and we're still holding the panic low. See, where is Bitcoin compared to its panic low? Yeah, Bitcoin's panic low is down here, so we have a lot of accepted trading below that point. So BNB holding up better than Bitcoin and Ethereum. And yeah, we still need to change the daily trend, starting with the 4-hour. Excuse me. We currently have a double bottom here, and we need that to hold, or a triple bottom essentially. So need that to hold, but we're just looking at a cup and handle pattern at this moment. So if this holds the 50% retracement on the way down, It's just a cup and handle, and then we could see a big move to the downside. Solana was weak, very weak. No signs of the bulls. No signs of the bulls yet. Change the 4-hour trend, change something. We are starting, so we hit daily oversold, and now it cooled off, and we just straight into new lows. It's just, we have bullish divergence, but we need to do a lot to change this. And then we're looking at giant head and shoulders at this point, like monthly head and shoulders. So to set a day or monthly higher low, we need to start with a daily trend change, and then we would just be looking at this as a giant head and shoulders. But we're still not even confirmed our right shoulder yet, so our head, where our neckline will be. And it's possible we could break through this, and then we have a downwards neckline, and then we would be looking for our right shoulder. So yeah, a lot of these names it's pretty rough. And as soon as we set our monthly higher lows, we're just looking at monthly head and shoulders. So that puts us at risk of ending our entire bull run. And that's potential. That it is potential that this bull run could be over, and that is it. I don't think so yet. I would like if Bitcoin can hold this monthly 12 EMA, I'd be totally all right with this type of consolidation. Just like it held here, we closed above on all these candles. If we can keep doing that here and head back up, I would be totally fine with this type of consolidation and not worrying, just like the S&P. So this is the leader of the as the gold standard for crypto. Same with the S&P for the regular stock market. We are holding up fine. This is fine consolidation as long as we can keep closing above the monthly 12 EMA. Once that happens, if we close down here, then we are losing that, and we are at caution of much more downside potential. All right, well, that's it for today. I will see you for the recaps for tonight, and we'll see how we shape up, see if we can get some 4-hour trend changes. But like I said, we've given a lot of this move back on the S&P. The S&P is kind of just the gold standard for everything, and we've given so much back that we would be expecting lower highs, so this could play out for a little while, or we go straight into new lows. So we'll see what happens, but I'm receptive to more downside, as I think that is very likely at this point, just with how we've been trading, and this zone is kind of where I'm interested at. Anywhere from 560 to 540, that range. I'm a buyer, and I would be waiting for a weekly bounce, and that's the way I'm playing this. And I need to see a 4-hour trend change come from this zone. Otherwise, we're just controlled selling on the way down, and it could get pretty rough. Okay, I will see you tonight. Bye.